China has been busy building awesome planes for some time. They started with a plane called Chengdu J-20, and it was kind of like their first step into the cool plane world. Then they got super serious and made these super high-tech fifth-generation fighters. And guess what? They didn't stop there. They're cooking up even more fantastic planes that are making people say, wow. Many countries are in a race to create the coolest fighter jets, because flying in the sky with cool planes is a big deal. The US has this program called NGAD, where they're making their own super-duper high-tech jet. But guess who else is in the game? Yep, China. They want to make the best fighter jet in town, and it's getting pretty exciting. China is like a superhero in the world of making planes. They spend a lot of money to make their planes super awesome. They're also really good at using tech from all over the world to make their planes even better. It's like they're on a mission to build the ultimate flying machine, and it's turning heads everywhere. The $16 billion pursuit. The world of advanced fighter jets is getting really exciting. These jets are becoming even cooler thanks to amazing technology, and there's a big competition to see who can make the best one. One standout in this race is the NGAD program, which is all about creating the next generation fighter jet. This fancy jet is meant to replace the old F-22 Raptor and is expected to start flying in the 2030s. They've already flown one prototype, and they're getting ready to make more. The U.S. Air Force plans to choose a company to build these jets by 2024 and is investing a whopping $16 billion in the project. But the Air Force isn't stopping there. They want to own all the smart ideas right from the beginning and make it easy to add new cool stuff to the jets. Plus, they're teaming up these jets with super cool fighter drones to make a powerful combo. They want about 200 NGAD jets and 1,000 of those cool drones. We don't know the exact price of each jet yet, but it's going to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Even though they're expensive, they'll be cheaper to operate than the old F-22. So get ready, because the US is on its way to bringing the awesome 6th Gen NGAD jet into action. The Hypersonic Revolution. China is in a big race to make its own super cool jet, and when they showed it to the United States, everyone was super surprised. China is becoming really powerful and is making big waves with its fancy weapons. They even have this super-secret hypersonic aircraft that can go super-duper fast, like 10 times the speed of sound. This could change how wars are fought and make them more modern. Fighter jets have been a big deal for a long time, especially since World War II. Back then, the Soviet Union, which is now Russia, was the main problem in the ski. But now, China is doing even better at making their own fighter planes, sensors, and missiles. In the 1950s, the Soviet Union helped China with their MiG-15 jet, and they even sent Russian pilots to help in the Korean War. China then made their own versions like the J5, J6, and J7 fighters. Russia sent some cool Su-27 and Su-30 flanker fighters to China, which could do cool moves in the air. But here's the twist. China's newest planes are even cooler than the Russian ones. They have better weapons and tech stuff. And you know why? China spends a lot more money on its military than Russia, like 3 times more. Plus, China is really good at making high-tech stuff for planes, like cool sensors and electronics. China just unveiled their super-amazing 6th Gen stealth fighter. It looks awesome with its sneaky features and diamond-shaped wings. This makes it super agile, and it's hard to see on radar. This fighter could make China's Air Force even more powerful. China's J28X Blackfire. China has something super secret in the works called the J28X Blackfire, and it's shrouded in mystery. There's a rumor that this jet is powered by AI, making it capable of making really smart decisions. But the most exciting feature is its super-fast hypersonic technology, allowing it to zoom across the sky at incredible speeds, covering long distances in a flash. China is investing heavily in hypersonic technology, using advanced wind tunnels to simulate extreme flight conditions. This expertise is helping them create jets that can go incredibly fast. If they continue on this path, they might outpace the US in the race for 6th-gen hypersonic fighters. This new fighter jet poses a significant challenge to air defenses due to its advanced capabilities. It's prompting countries to rethink how they protect their airspace. Meanwhile, the US is focusing on advanced sensors, precision strikes, and electronic tactics with their NGAD program. But China is taking a different approach with the J28X Blackfire, focusing on making it incredibly smart with AI and highly adaptable. Moreover, their 5th-gen J20 jet is already highly advanced, attracting attention on the global stage. The J-20's Stealthy Origins. The backstory of the J-20 is fascinating and dates back to the early 90s when China aimed to create an exceptionally advanced fighter aircraft. Despite lacking experience and technology, China was determined to succeed. They capitalized on the fall of the Soviet Union, acquiring top-notch Soviet technology from Russia and Ukraine in need of financial support in the 1990s and early 2000s. The next step was a bit sneaky. In 2009, Chinese hackers executed a major data breach to steal information about the F-35 fighter jet, gaining invaluable Western knowledge. When China unveiled the J-20 in 2011, it blended Eastern and Western influences, showcasing determination and ingenuity. It's proof that with persistence and resourcefulness, remarkable achievements are possible. In 2008, the Chengdu Aircraft Company unveiled a prototype of their 5th-generation fighter jet, beating Shenyang in the race. However, when images of the J-20 emerged during field tests, global reactions were mixed. Some experts dismissed it as another Chinese tech copycat. At that time, it seemed that way. But here's the exciting twist. The J-20's design was actually based on stealth concepts from the F-22 and F-35, with unique elements like the delta wing and canard design. It's a substantial aircraft, measuring 21.4 meters in length, ranking among the largest 5th-gen planes. The canards, those little wings near the front, work in tandem with the delta wing to enhance stability, as there are no traditional horizontal stabilizers at the back. Like the F-35, the vertical stabilizers can move. The front of the plane somewhat resembles the F-35 as well. Now, for a fun detail, the missile bay is divided into 3 sections, and the way the missile doors close during combat is pretty cool. They scatter the missiles outside to reduce drag and conserve energy. Inside, the fighter can carry 6 missiles, with the option to attach more to its wings. The J-20 blends smart ideas from various aircraft into a sleek and functional design. Stealthy Innovation. Chinese aviation has had a big challenge to tackle, making better engines for their airplanes. The engines they used, called WS-10C engines, are getting better, but there's still a problem. These planes can't go super fast like some others. That's a bit of a struggle because super speed helps with being sneaky. But the Chinese J-20 plane has done some cool stuff to make up for it. They changed the way the engines work and added special stuff to make it harder to spot on radar. Even though some people in the US weren't sure about it, General Kenneth Wilsbach was pretty impressed when they saw it in the South China Sea. Now, China has more than 150 of these J-20 planes flying since 2017. They even made a 2-seater version in 2022. If they keep making it better, this plane could be a big deal in the Chinese Air Force. They're not stopping here, though. China is super into technology. They're using new materials that are lighter and better. This makes their planes faster and more agile than Russian ones. They also have super cool radar that helps them stay hidden. They've even borrowed some tech from other fighters to make their planes even better. China's Chengdu J-20 is a really cool stealth fighter. It's super sneaky and can do all sorts of tricks in the sky. But here's the thing, in modern warfare, having long-range air-to-air missiles is like having a secret weapon. China has these powerful missiles that are just as good as the best ones in the world. They can hit faraway targets really fast, and they're really smart. Even if the bad guys try to confuse them or jam their signals, these missiles don't give up easily. From Harrier to F-35. For a long time, scientists and engineers have been trying to build a super cool stealth fighter that can take off and land in tight spaces. The company Lockheed Martin has been working on this since 1954. One famous example is the Harrier, which was a bit of a genius idea. It could go up and down like a helicopter, but it had a tricky problem when landing. It could roll around because of the wind. To solve this, they added little nozzles on the wings that the pilot could control to make it land smoothly. The F-35B, a newer jet, took this idea and made it even better. It can do both vertical takeoff and supersonic speeds, making it super fast and versatile. Now, the F-35 family has a few different versions. There's the F-35A, which is like a regular airplane that can take off and land on normal runways. The F-35B is the one that can do the cool vertical takeoff and landing thing, and it's used by the Marines. Then there's the F-35C, which is made for aircraft carriers. It has longer wings and special gear to land on those big ships. Plus, it can fold its wings to fit in tight spaces on the carrier. These F-35 jets are packed with technology. They have lots of fuel tanks to keep them going, and they're covered in special stuff that makes them hard to spot on radar. Inside, there are fancy screens and sensors that help the pilot see what's going on, even at night. China was so impressed with these F-35s that they tried to copy some of their secrets to make their own cool fighter jet. They even made a fancy video showing what it might look like. From sketches to reality. On January 31st, 2023, there was this cool fighter jet on display, kind of like a superhero's plane. It had a special diamond-shaped wing, like something from a comic book. And guess what? It didn't look like the regular jets you see in movies. It was super sleek, like a ninja in the sky. It didn't have those big tails you usually see on planes. Instead, it had a smooth, blended body, making it even more mysterious and interesting. A little later, on February 14th, someone posted a video online. In the video, they were testing this new jet in a wind tunnel. It looked like they were trying to make it super fast and sneaky. Even though we just saw this jet recently, it's not the first time we've heard about China's new planes. They've been working on them since January 18th, and they even had a secret picture on a computer screen way back in 2021. China is making these new planes because they want to be really good at flying and protecting their country. They're like superheroes too. Just like how America is making their own cool planes. It's like a race between the two countries to see who can make the best airplane. These new planes are super important because they can fly far and carry powerful things, which is really useful in a pretend fight between China and the United States. So both countries are working hard to make their planes the best they can be. It's like a race to the skies.